Data centers are popping up across the country. Of course, they're popping up right here in Oklahoma, too. That's the topic of the discussion this morning. Madeline Mitchell spent years using artificial intelligence, working in the private sector. She now teaches classes at UCO's business school, very versed in the topic. Mayor Zach Doyle from Pryor has come down to talk with us as well, where they have the second largest Google data center on the planet in Pryor, Oklahoma. So appreciate you guys being here today.
Right.
Thanks for taking the trip as well.
Pleasure.
Great to have you guys. Madeline, I wanted to start with you. We are hearing data centers popping up as a topic of conversation so much now. Let's step back to what is a data center, right? Because I think people have a fringe understanding of it. And also, why are they targeting Oklahoma?
Great question. So what is a data center? You can really think about a data center as the brain or the infrastructure behind the internet and AI as we know it, right? So when you do a Google search, when you have Google Maps and it's rerouting you around an accident, when you have a bank that's saying, hey, there may be a fraudulent charge on your account, when you ask a question to ChatGPT, all of these tasks are running through these data centers in milliseconds. And the data centers actually are large warehouses that have millions and millions of computers running these tasks in milliseconds.
Okay.
So why Oklahoma?
Right.
What has Oklahoma done to sort of position itself to be an attractive place for these large investments? Well, I would say it's three things. So one, as a state, we are one of the largest energy producers in the country. So natural gas, wind, solar. Second, our geographic proximity in the center of the country has actually become our strategic advantage. So when you think about low latency on digital transmission, to the West Coast, to the East Coast, and everywhere in between, that's a real asset. And then third, it's our workforce, right? So those folks coming out of UCO, OU, OSU, and our career techs are responsible for building these large projects. And then the secondary and tertiary benefits, right, of new hotels, new neighborhoods, restaurants, bars, just absolutely key that we have such a strong workforce right here.
And it's becoming more and more common. Mayor, you made the trip down. Pryor, Oklahoma, opened the data center there in 2011, the Google data center. It is 1.4 million square feet, and it uses over 1 billion gallons of water every year for cooling. And I appreciate you coming down to share some of the perspective you have. People across the country are worried about the data centers, right? I mean, that's been a big topic. Utility costs, the usage of water. I just want to hear your perspective on what it's been like to be the mayor. I know you've only been the mayor for 3 years, and it's been a data center for 15 years. But what's it been like for you as mayor? Are those concerns valid, do you think? And what has it been like operating in the city?
Yeah, so first off, be very clear, this isn't any kind of advocation either way for or against the data centers. I think it's important to know the facts so you have valid information to go off of. My involvement with the city has been almost a decade now, so I wasn't involved when it started, but where we are now, 15 years later, we see this. I think as we look at the concerns that have been brought up, it's important for the communities looking at data centers or any big industry for that fact, whether it's aviation or it's manufacturing. Do you have the resources available, whether it's water, power, electric, whatever it is, to accommodate that? We're lucky where we're at that we have great power source, we have great water source. Those things aren't a problem for us. That water usage, they're taking it and they bring it in and they're recycling it through their system 7 times, and they've built on-site water treatment plants. So that water is going back into the river as clean, if not cleaner than it came out. Their commitment to the environment is real. But there are things that Madeline talked about and you talked about that we have to look at, and those are those secondary and tertiary benefits, and some of those things are not necessarily benefits.
And I know you've been called on to share some of your experiences with other cities, and I'm sure something that gets brought up is the fact that Pryor is 10,000 people, right, the population. It's rural compared to building one in Yukon where it would be maybe yards away from a person's house. I'm sure that's something that's considered when you bring up those conversations. and we'll have more of a longer conversation about it. I know legislation has been big, Madeline. You've been tracking that a lot at the Oklahoma State Capitol. This Ratepayer Protection Act was made a law, and that goes into one of those big concerns, right? The utility costs. Have you been following that closely, and can you help us kind of better understand too, like how is that going to work, and why is it something maybe Oklahomans should be reading up on and paying attention to?
It's a really big deal. House Bill 2992. This was a near unanimous support in the House and Senate, signed into law by Governor Stitt, really making sure that those companies that are making major investments in our state and building these projects and bringing lots of jobs are also not passing along those electricity price increases or the potential of that, right? So it's really protecting the consumer to make sure that your personal bills are not going to be impacted by these data centers.
Oh, one more quick question for you, Mayor. I just want to squeeze one more in here. I mean, would you encapsulate the data center there in Pryor as maybe a success, or how do you share a message to Oklahomans about what they should be thinking about when it comes to these data centers?
Well, I think the one thing that I would share very openly and very boldly with anybody, any community, is the community controls the narrative, right? So in Pryor, we have Mid-America Industrial Park, which is a fabulous asset to Oklahoma, to the region, and to there, that's an area dedicated for that industrial build. But when you look at like Yukon or any of these other communities, they control the narrative. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not anything that is ever worth dividing a community over. And you know, to know things that you need to know, you know, be prepared for your housing. What you're planning on 15 years down the road is what you should start now if you're looking to bring in one of these data centers or, like I said, any kind of industry. Know that your infrastructure, be prepared there. Your roads are going to get worked. You're going to have it. But you look at Pryor, and our school district has greatly benefited from where we're at. You know, you go back 10 years, and our valuation was about 80 million, and this year we're over $1.1 billion valuation.
So it's a different situation for just about.
You know, and we look at things. You know, we talk about legislation right now. 844 is out there, and we all know that that's. I mean, let's be real. That's targeting Mays County because we do have the highest ad valorem contribution, tremendously high. We need that to not pass.
A lot of things when it comes to this topic. We appreciate you guys so much for coming in today. We'll continue to have the conversation.